Shalom, shalom, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles, elder bishops here at Great Millstone. Shalom to you brothers that's pushing the work and truth with all sincerity. So I want to get straight to this one. All right, I want to start here in James, the 2nd chapter, the 5th verse. This is the MSG version. The Royal Rule of Love, all right, is the title of the subtitle of this chapter. And yeah, let's get into it, man. The Lord had called us to live modest, simple, humble, you know, meek lives. All right. The Lord is dealing with the contrite, the broken in spirit. All throughout the scriptures, you can see that, and you got Israelite leaders who are trying to pitch us a whole nother version of the, the scriptures and what the Lord says. And we know if they speak not according to this word, it's because there's no light in them. People flaunting about uh, having things, having sustenance, and boasting about their possessions and material. The Lord ain't with it. Okay. And actually, the Lord is about to visit those who are in that comfortable mindset, who are living comfortable. All right. The Lord wants you very uncomfortable. Okay, because those that sigh and cry for the abominations that be done in the midst of this place, Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, the 4th verse, that is who the Lord is going to exempt from judgment. He set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry, as that precept goes. And he's going to exempt them from the judgment. That's why we're called to flee the midst of Babylon, meaning get out of that mindset. You done got to parlay with the world and do as the world does. Okay? That ain't what we're here for. That ain't what we received this truth for. We received this truth to mentally prepare ourselves for the end of the world. And we cannot do that if we're stuck in the world trying to live up with the Joneses and trying to be of the status quo. Right? And you got Israelites who are teaching that and have that form of teaching, and they just completely miss the spirit of the Lord. All right. And yeah, they're not telling Jake on what spirits to be, according to what the Lord accepts. But here we go. We're gonna start in James 2 and 5. I'll try to keep it short and sweet, but if not, it is what it is. But this is James 2 and 5. It says, listen, this is the MSG version, the royal rule of love. It says, 2 and 5, listen, dear friends, isn't it clear by now that God operates quite differently? He chose the world's down and out as the kingdom's first citizens. Bam, right there, man. He chose the down and out for the kingdom's first citizens. All right. Them that shall be first shall be last, and the last shall be first. You know, and those that are teaching the right doctrine, the right way, is going to be called the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Okay. Not those who calling other Israelites bums and all of this other madness. Okay. You're going to be called the least because you're not exemplifying the fruits of what the spirit is, what Yahweh left as an example, being selfless. All right. And a lot of more Israelites going to be exposed. Okay. It says he chose the world's down and out as the kingdom's first citizens with full rights and privileges. The kingdom is promised to anyone who loves God, and here you are abusing these same citizens. You see, you got Israelites that's actually doing it, trying to teach a whole different way than what the Lord is teaching. Because what? The Lord is completely opposite of this world. All right. And he makes that clear in the scriptures. And you cannot smooth that over. You cannot uh, 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 try to make that a light thing. Okay. It says, isn't it the high and mighty who exploit you, who use the courts to rob you blind? Aren't they the ones who scorn the new name? All right. And that's what you got. People, Jake could turn you over to this world. And all they're doing is oppressing you. Okay. And that's why we were called out of the world. All right. We were called out of the world to live, all right, and mirror Yahweh Shai so we can enter into that glory. That's what matters. All this other bull junk is just it's just junk. Okay. So this is to, you Israelites that think living comfortably is what you're supposed to be doing. All right. Ecclesiasticus 5:1 is to set not thy heart upon thy goods and say not, I have enough for my life. Okay. Right. Follow not thine own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart. Right. And the scriptures tell you, you're supposed to say, Lord willing, you know, no matter what you're doing, it's supposed to be Lord willing. And you're supposed to be acknowledging that the Lord is the one that's truly looking out for you, that's truly setting you up, you know, uh, for, to be sustained. Okay. And it truly is. And the scriptures talk about those that receive benefits and have not known the Most High. This is Second Ezra, the 9th chapter. Okay. So you got a lot of Israelites with this mindset living comfortably in Babylon. And the Lord is about to address that, right? As it says here, it says, and say not, who shall control me for my works? For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride. Okay. I looked it up in GNT, and it says here, don't rely, same book, chapter, and verse, Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 5:1, it says, don't rely on money to make you independent. You see, and that's what the world tells you. Money is freedom. Money is freedom. So you see people working really hard to try to be rich so they won't have to work, so they can be independent, so they can have freedom, right? And that's really not freedom, okay? Um, what truly freedom is wisdom, okay? Understanding, all right? Because that frees you from all the strongholds in this world. Understanding them, and wisdom, the Lord's wisdom, not just any old wisdom, right? Don't think you have to have everything you want. That's what this world, again, tells us. You can have anything you want. No, you don't have to live that way, because life is not about having everything you want. You know, children see that whatever they're very, they're whatever they see they want. You know, because they're children. Okay, they don't know that this ain't good for you, that ain't good for you. You know, and that's why they need order. Okay, it says, and then spend your energy trying to get it. Don't think that no one can exercise authority over you. See, and Jake is in that mindset, because they got a little money, they got a little freedom, and nobody can exercise that authority over you, especially the woman, man, especially the woman. And the woman's gonna be addressed. They're gonna be the main ones that get hurt by this transition that's about to happen. And I'm talking about the New World Order beast system being put into place. Okay, and Esau coming down with great wrath. All right, having martial law troops in the street, detaining people, putting people in uh, detention centers, as we say, internment camps. Forget the other word. But it says, if you do, the Lord is certain to punish you. Don't think that you can sin and get away with it. The Lord does not mind waiting to punish you. And yeah, he's long suffering. Okay. But he will punish, okay, those who have been living lives, without acknowledging him. Okay. And that's why we warn you. Part of what we're warning you, man, is the Lord is coming for those who got that type of pride, because you can live in your little box house, you can drive your little gas guzzling cars, and and you living comfortably without acknowledging the Lord. And I'm talking directly to you Israelites, those that know the truth. Okay, you feel like you can't be touched. Oh, I'm an Israelite. You think you can say anything to anybody and not move in a simple, modest way and live a simple life, simple, humble life, you know, the Lord's going to address you. This is 2 Ezra 16:40. It says, oh my, no, you know what? Let me get this. This is 1 John 2:15. I do want to read this in the MSG 2, right? 15. Okay. I didn't give it to us, but we'll find it really quick. 1 John 2, right? And 15. We'll read it in the KJV, and then we'll read it in the MSG. So 1 John 2 and 15, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Very basic milk scriptures. And this is what we've understood coming in the truth. Okay, that we were supposed to turn from this way. We were supposed to become new creatures. And this is what the truth provided for us. A way out from this destructive way of living, this westernized, destructive way, poisonous way of living. All right. Instead, Jake tried to mingle the truth with this and tried to build principle off of off of that. And it's just not gonna work, man. All right. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So you gotta love either one or the other. Okay, because if you love the status quo and the things that people are doing in the world, well, guess what? You don't love the Father, man. Okay. It says, verse 16, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. But he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. All right. And our elders, starting with our apostles and elders, have taught us how to escape this world, escape the mentality. All right. And taught us how to be dedicated, even if that involves us sacrificing our families. The Lord told us that we would, if we love our families, our wives, our children more than him, that we are not worthy. And we want to be worthy because the Lord establishes the family, okay? He establishes the whole family, all right? All right, so without the Lord, you wouldn't have a family to begin with, okay? See, and Jake is super unmindful of that truth, okay? It's super unmindful of that, all right? And that's why the Lord is going to punish you, because without the Lord, you wouldn't have a family in the first place. So you can't love the family more than you love God, because the Most High is the one that gave you the family. So you got to acknowledge the Most High. And us being in this truth, called out of this world to serve him in this ministry, guess what? We do have to forsake the family. Okay? And what did Corinthians say? 1 Corinthians 7 and 29, it says, but I say, brethren, the time is short. Why was the time short? Because the persecution, all right? The end of that age was coming. The end of the Roman Empire. The end, well, in fact, more specifically, the end of the Israelite state. Okay, and an establishment of our temple, our laws. Having a king and all of those things. Okay, was about to be eradicated, and the Lord actually prophesied that Jerusalem will, be sacked. The temple was going to be sacked. The people were going to be murdered. Okay. So we're in what makes our time different now? If you've been paying attention to what's been going on, we're very close to that trench being cast around us, just like in 70 AD. Okay. So the time is short. It says, it remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none. All right. And the elders apostles, have set us up to have the fortitude to deal with what's coming. All right, it's the best way I can put it now. Okay. So what? You can't be around here and being in a family man spirit. You gotta go into straight pilgrim mode, because all of those things, the concept of family, they're gonna do away with all of that. Okay, and they're gonna try to make you bow to the image and accept the way that they're running things. And if you don't, they're gonna cut you off, and ultimately you ain't gonna be able to live and buy or sell things without having that chip, which is the mark of the beast. Okay, that's where society is going. So the time is short. Okay. Let me see. Back in here we go. 1 John 2:18, little children. All right. It is the last time as ye have heard that the anti-Hamashiach, the anti-Messiah, all right, or so shall come. Even now are there many anti-Hamashiach, right? So it ain't just one person in particular. It's people that speak against the will of the Lord, okay? Whereby we know that it is the last time, okay? How much more now? All right, because there's many anti-Hamashiach, okay? Anti-Messiah. 1 John 2:15 again. This is the MSG. It says, don't love the world's way. Don't love the world's goods. Love of the world squeezes out love for the Father. Perfect. You can't even focus or function or focus and have your mind on the Most High because of this world is such a distraction. It will destroy you. Micah 2:10. Okay? And this is why we were told to hate our families, not hate them as in, oh, I don't want nothing to do with you. Is no, I got to put the Lord first and I can't be focused on you right now. Okay? Because it's going to feel like, to them, it's going to feel like you hate them. But in reality, you don't really hate your family. In fact, you're trying to procure and secure a future for them by sacrificing yourself in this world. Okay? So let's see here. It says practically everything that goes on in the world, wanting your own way, wanting everything for yourself, wanting to appear important, has nothing to do with the Father. It just isolates you from Him. The world and its wanting is on the way out. This is perfect. I couldn't even put it a better way. But whoever does what God wants is set for eternity. You see that? Perfect. All right. And that's what we're trying to be, set for eternity. And guess what? You think our forefathers didn't have the same thing in mind? This is Hebrews 11:13. These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth, not wanting everything. Well, you did have Israelites who did want to, they did want to live in that limelight, but guess what? They were corrected and reproved and judged. All right, and they were set up for an example of what not to be. And that's the example that we have now. Okay. I want to see how this, what it says in the MSG really quick. Let me get the book list. Okay. That's good. Oops. Nope. All right. Why is it doing this to me? To Hebrews 11:13. I'm about to close in a second. Hebrews 11:13. Each one of these people of faith died, not yet having in hand what was promised, but still believing. How did they do it? They saw it way off in the distance, waved their greeting, and accepted the fact that they were transients in this world. All right, we are transients from the future. All right, we are super. Okay, there's an inside saying. Okay, it says, people who live this way make it plain that they are looking for their true home, and that's what we're told to be: pilgrims in the earth. If they were homesick for, if they were homesick for the old country, what do you think we are? Homesick. That's why we're pilgrims in the world. And when you actually go into that word pilgrim, it means one that is on a far journey. Let's just look it up. pilgrim. Jake act like, the scriptures ain't backing up what we say. Okay, pilgrim, a person traveling to a holy place. Let's see here, or seeking some miracle or spiritual benefit. Also a traveler, generally a wayfarer. All right, yeah, because we're strangers in this world. Okay, and what we're wayfaring our way back to our land, our country. Okay, all right, plain and simple, man. Jake try to make this thing very hard, and it's not. All right. So 2 Ezra 14:13, now therefore set thine house in order and reprove thy people. Why? Because what? This change of the end of the world is coming. The Lord is coming. We're trying to get everything we need spiritually to be prepared for these times to come. All right. It says, and reprove thy people, comfort such of them that as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Why? Because corruption is going to be judgment set out for corruption, and anyone that's dealing in a corrupt manner. Right? Let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature. And that's what this world has provided you. This is what the world has shaped and molded you and fashioned you in the likeness of a weak nature. Okay, because it's just want. And what the spirit of Yahweh Shai gives us is what this selfless attitude, this selfless, fruitful way of living so that we can help others around us. Okay, verse 15, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times, bills, being in debt, being, everybody depending on you. No, everybody's supposed to depend on you to get the understanding, all right, of what's about to take place, because people are going to they're going to have questions, all right, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. All right, as you can see. Okay, let's see here. I think that might be it. Oh, here we go. 2 Ezra 16:40. Oh, my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon earth. And the Lord, he made it clear. Okay, he made it clear. So it says here, he that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. So that's your mindset. He that occupy merchandise as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. Right? This is what you Israelites are supposed to be teaching. He that soweth as if he should not reap, because the Lord said he's going to bring a new heaven and a new earth, meaning a new rulership in a refurbished earth. Okay, so also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. You're not supposed to be saying that we're going to be here 1,000 years from now, or whatever the case may be. Okay, you couldn't gauge that. You don't know that. I wouldn't even say it. So let me get to the point here I wanted to bring out. 2 Ezra 16 and 47. And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, this is what the Lord said, the more will I be angry with them for their sin, said the Lord. See, like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman, so shall righteousness hate iniquity when she decketh herself. Because the more you live in this world, the more you're going to deck yourself in the image of Esau, the image of the devil. Okay, and shall accuse her to her face. And the Lord's going to take you out like a jealous woman, and no wrath. No wrath like the woman of a woman scorn or jealous woman. Okay, it says, when he cometh, that shall defend him that diligently searcheth out every sin upon earth. So the Lord ain't playing. All right, and this, pretty much is straight to the point, man. The scriptures clearly tell us how we're supposed to live, and the Lord is close. He's near the contrite, the ones that's broken in spirit. Okay, and the Lord he's completely different from what the world is telling us. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. Until next time, I say shalom.